In this video, I'm going to go over how I spent $1,884.69 in the month of February. And this is over my $1,400 monthly budget. You guys will be able to see which areas I overspent, how much I was able to invest, and my progress so far 7 days into March. So that way you can see how I adjusted from the previous month. So this is a new series that I'm starting, monthly reviewing my income, my expenses, and then also how much I was able to invest. And that way you guys can see and follow my journey to financial freedom every single month. So like and subscribe if that sounds awesome. I'm going to be dropping more related videos to my path to financial freedom, and yeah, we'll just see the progress as we go. So now let's just go over my monthly income for the month of February. All right guys, so as you guys can see, we're going to go over my February budget review, and I'm just going to be typing numbers as we go along, and I'm going to be explaining a little bit more detail about each and every single one of them. So let's get started with the first income, which is my job. And for my job, I made this month in February, I made $4,332.68. So I get paid every single week with this job, and I am currently on a salary, and I make about $65,000 a year, but with like overtime and all this extra work, I make about 70,000. So 4,300, and this makes up about 97% of my income just this month, right? I earned 4 paychecks in February, which is, I get paid every single week, so that makes sense. And then I also got an extra $178.36 on top of just for getting extra pay from doing an extra job, you know? So yeah, that's pretty much it for my job income, and this is like my 9 to 5 that I work. Let's move on to the tip category. So for tips, I got $93.33. So yeah, I just get tip from doing jobs, and then the reason I get tip is because I'm actually doing garage floors for customers, so I drive to their houses and do their garage floors. Also, like I said, sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't, but in the past, I've never really tracked them. And I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing right now to budget, because I'm doing something that I've never done before. All right, guys, so this is currently what I'm doing. This is my first time actually using a notebook to track my expenses. I used to use SoFi, my bank, but there's a lot of things that you really can't do in SoFi. Like, I wanted to make my own like budget thing, because there's a lot of things you can't really input cash transactions. So if you like pay with cash or whatever on the SoFi budgeting app, it didn't let you add that transaction. And then also you couldn't edit the number amount. So like, let's just say you split a bill with somebody, you weren't able to edit, like if it's at $30, right, and your portion was $15, you weren't able to actually edit that $15 to be correct. So then in your summary for the month, it would just be $30 that you spent, which is not the case. So yeah, this is currently what I'm doing right now for the budgeting. And then as you can see, I have the back right here. Kind of started my next one, right? Because every Sunday I do it. But yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like. You can see the food, right, and all the categories and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get right back into this video. So yeah, the notebook is what I'm using right now. Like I said, I'm gonna make my own, and I wanted something for you guys to use as well, so that way when I create it, I can also share it with you guys. But currently right now, honestly, I'm really enjoying doing the notebook method, because you can actually like feel it. Like you can feel every small transaction, and I just never had this feeling before, because like everything was already inputted for me. I'm just looking at it. Now that I'm actually writing it down, I could actually tell a big difference. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my tips category. Let's move on to the bank interest. And sorry that I'm actually looking down, because I actually wrote some notes for you guys, so that way I don't miss anything in this video. All right, so moving on to the bank interest, I made around $31.03. Then this bank interest is pretty much just for my emergency fund, right, which is about $8,400 total. And that is literally 6 months worth of my monthly spendings. Right now, I currently have about $8,467 just based off interest, like building on its own alone. And then pretty much in February, my emergency fund contributed $21.07. And I'm not contributing to my emergency fund anymore. So it's just going to keep growing. And this is probably going to be the first time that I actually don't touch it and just let it grow over time. So then my next account that I have is my Sideline cash, which is at $2,675.34. And I put $75 into this every single week. You're going to be able to see later on my investment portion, when we go over, you're going to see my $75, how much I was able to invest into that account. And this is pretty much just like for learning and investing opportunities that I see. That's why it's called Sideline cash, you know, so I don't miss out. But majority of it is going for learning, so that way I can speed up the process of like earning more, because the more skills you learn, the more you're going to be able to earn, because you can do so many different things, and that's kind of what I want to do going forward. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my sideline cash. I don't use it for no entertainment or shopping or any of that. So yeah, pretty much that'll close out for the bank interest, $31.03. All right, so moving on to the cash, I made $6.52, and this is just extra cash that somebody gave me just for doing them a favor. I do not include it as tips because I actually want to earn how much I made from my job separately compared to somebody giving me money. And the $6.52 was actually some food, just to buy some food, and that's how much I spent. So I actually got that in cash. That's why I'm saying that. But yeah, for my credit card points, I'm gonna start tracking it every single month. I'm just gonna withdraw either at the end of the month or the start of the month. You guys let me know if I should do it at the end of the month or at the beginning of the month. Just redeem all of my credit card points so that way I can track it month to month and see how much I made so far into every month just by using my credit card points, right? Because that's also one benefit that you get. So why not just look at what I'm actually getting? Yeah, that's pretty much it for all of my income sources. So as you can see, the total income that I made for this month is $4,464.46. That's a pretty good, that seems about right. Sometimes I make a little bit more than this, right? Sometimes I make a little bit less since I actually got like tips and stuff like that. So, but this seems like a good range that, I mean, it's normal going forward, right? One thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. My goal is to make $10,000 a month, and I want to do that through growing my YouTube channel, right? You guys will see the progress of me getting to that goal because I'm going to be very transparent as I grow the YouTube channel. You're going to be able to see the income and what I do. I also want to get you guys into like starting a side hustle so that way you guys can create a second income on your own as well. Yeah, that's what I really do recommend right now, is just getting a second source of income, because just growing your income alone just gives you more money to play with and to invest, right? Because if you just don't increase your income, right, you're just going to be investing 2,000, 2,000, 2,000 every single month, compared to if you're able to grow your income by an extra 2,000, guess what? You have $4,000 growing instead of that $2,000. So yeah, get a second income. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the month of February. $4,464.42. So let's move on to the expenses. All right, so starting with my expenses, the first category that we're gonna go over is food, and I spent about $378.04. And this is literally over my food budget, which is $300 that I budget myself every single month. And yeah, pretty much I went to the fair, and just on one day alone, it says I spent $89.25 just on that one day going to the fair. And then I also was feeding 2 people at the fair. That's why it's pretty expensive. If you guys don't know, the fair food costs a little bit extra, a lot extra actually, not a little bit, but yeah, I went to the fair. It's something, I don't really go out much, and yeah, it's just something that I did. I still ate out religiously for the rest of the month, and yeah, that's something to watch out for March. I'm doing pretty good. You guys will see how much I spent in food in March, and that's going to be the biggest total difference that you guys will see at the end of the video. So yeah, even though this is not too much in terms of like a food budget, right? For my budget, it's a lot because, like I said, I budget $300 max. I tried to spend like $200. I still went over my $300 budget, and that's something that I'm going to improve on this month. All right, so moving on to utilities, I spent about $322, and that is even. So this is for the electric, the light, and the phone bill. Usually my budget for house and food is $500, but since my mom actually left the country right now, I'm pretty much splitting everything with my brother. So either this month and next month, it might be a little bit higher, but $322 is what we split for the utilities so far. All right, so for the house budget, we spent $297, and yeah, like I said, it's usually $500 total from utilities and house together for my portion of the thing. I accidentally hit my mic, but yeah, my portion is $500. We're just going to take the hit this month and maybe next month. All right, moving on to the next category is subscriptions. And I spent $130 $3.97 on this category. Pretty much I use my subscriptions to make YouTube videos, so that's where I have like my Premiere Pro, my Photoshop, and then my vidIQ. This helps me make the videos for you guys. I don't really have any other expenses besides OneDrive that I actually use like personally. Everything is literally just business related, and on average it's $79.20. I got charged twice for one subscription, which I'm looking into that. So this might be actually lower, or I might just leave it and just pick up on the next month, right? Hopefully it just paid the next month for me, and that's literally all that I'm hoping for. All right, so moving on to my Invisalign, $303.34, right? This is self-explanatory. It's Invisalign. You probably can't tell. Moving on to my entertainment budget, $105.59. And I pretty much ended up going to Dave & Buster's. I played for a couple hours, so I bought the little card where you pretty much pay for the card and you get like a certain amount of plays, and then you get tickets and stuff like that. But like I said, I don't do this really often, and yeah, I'll just take the hit for this month since I wasn't actually being responsible with my money. Yeah, we'll pretty much just go from there and improve on the next month. All right, so moving on to gifts. I actually don't really use this category a lot, but since my friend moved out to Texas, pretty much I bought him a couple things on Amazon from the registry. I think that is called a registry, and that total was $104.53. And I also did like a little drawing competition for some kids where I told them whoever can draw me the best is literally gonna win $15, right? Just for little young kids. And they pretty much just drew it. And yeah, I sent them the money, and that's pretty much it. Just my registry and the drawing competition. Moving on to credit card annual fee. I actually got charged for the first time. My first year was free with my Amex card. I don't know if that's how you say it, but yeah, they charged me $95 going forward every single year at the start of February. I might get rid of the card. I'm just playing, but let's move on to the haircut. So for the haircut, I ended up spending $85 even, and this is pretty much higher than usual. This month I did it a little bit different. My friend wanted to cut my hair because he kind of got started cutting hair and he wanted some experience, and then eventually he wants to cut my hair like full time. Pretty much I give him $50 for his haircut, and then the other haircut that I get from my regular barber was $35. So majority of it went to my friend, and yeah, I pretty much take care of my friends whenever I actually do stuff with them. So the haircut was supposed to be free, and I still just gave him $50 just, you know, just why not? Moving on to the groceries category, I spent $60.36. And this was because I wanted to stop eating out. This is towards the end of the month, right? When I noticed that I'm spending way too much on eating. Yeah, it pretty much just helped me like save a little bit, and then also I'm gonna have a little bit of groceries going over the next month, right? I bought some pasta, some beans, some food, some rice. Pretty much, I know the fruits aren't really too cheap, but like the beans and everything else is, and I can pretty much make that last. And then for the gas, pretty much I spent $29.89. And as you guys know, I don't have a car, but since I actually went to Dave & Buster's, I bought gas for the car because I was driving it. And yeah, it's usually zero because I don't have any car. I don't have no gas to pay for, and it's a one-time thing. And yeah, so getting on to my total expenses for the month, it was $1,884. As you guys can see, this is what it's in the title. Yeah, my normal budget is $1,400 a month, right? So that means I'm over $484.69 over my budget. Like I said, my fixed expenses are $649.20 is my realistic bills without like entertainment and food. So $649.20 is my fixed expenses. For my wants, the rest of it is $750.80. This is pretty much includes my orthodontics, which I include. I know it's debt, but I include my orthodontics because I'm able to fit it in my want category, you know? So it's not really debt. It's money that I'm gonna spend anyways. I just put it into my want category. With the orthodontics being taken out of my want category, right? Remember, my food and entertainment budget is $750.80. I include my orthodontics into my entertainment budget, which is currently or technically debt. That means I have $147.46 left for food and entertainment, which I tried to use that for the rest of the month, right? Obviously, when I pay my Invisalign, if you guys don't know, I have like a net worth video that I do. You guys can see how much I owe on my Invisalign if you guys want to check that out. But once I pay my Invisalign, I'm going to have $750 to use for the total of the month. And the money that I don't use fully is literally just going to get reinvested, or I'm gonna do something with it, obviously. So yeah, that's how much I spent. For my savings for February, it is $2,579.77. So that's how much I was able to invest, even though I went over my budget. Well, not invest, because I invested more than this. I'm going to explain to you guys right here at the bottom. But $2,579.70 is what I was able to cash save for the month of February. But I want to show you guys how I invest, and how I was able to invest more than what I saved, even though I don't have the cash for it. I don't know. I'm just going to explain it in a second. It will make sense in a second. So for my stocks, for the month of February, I was able to invest $1,617. And all my investments are automated, right? Like I said, for my spendings, I use my credit card. So all this money that you see me spend is not money that I'm like giving up right away. I have 30 days to pay it back. So since I'm getting the cash, right, and I'm using my credit cards to pay it, I use the cash to invest, and then I pay it as I don't know. I'll make a video about it. But yeah, I use my cash that I get for the month to invest, and my credit cards to pretty much delay when I have to pay my bills. But I also have a zero statement every single month. And yeah, it's a little bit weird to explain. I use 4 cards, but yeah, let's get right into the investment still. $566.04 for my Roth IRA. For my Sideline cash, remember I was telling you that I actually have a Sideline cash where I just put money into every single week. $75 for 4 weeks is $300 going into my Sideline cash for any opportunities. And then for my crypto, I'm still investing into crypto. I'm not going to stop. I was able to invest $252.36. And that total comes out to be $2,735.40. So as you guys can see, I was able to invest a little bit under $200 more than what I saved, just because I was able to use my credit cards, right? Plus, I'm also getting interest, so it was probably a little bit more that I made. But yeah. $2,735 is automated. I don't even get a chance to look at this money. This money, as soon as I get paid, it gets taken out the next day. It goes into my stocks is Robinhood, my Roth IRA is Vanguard, and then Sideline Cash is automatic transfer, and then crypto is Robinhood, and it just goes out of my account without me thinking about it. So that's how I was able to invest more than I spend. Pretty much just say thank you to credit cards if you use it the right way. I don't want you guys using a credit card if you guys don't know how to use it. I'm going to drop a video on how I use a credit card, so that way you guys can understand the process that I do behind it. And I think that everybody should do it if they're responsible and know how to stay under their budget, you know. Even though I went over my budget, obviously the next month I'm gonna be a lot under, so that way I can make up for the difference of it. And before I actually end out the video, I kind of will show you guys what my update is for the month of March right here. So I don't know if you guys can see, right? This is what I just went over. So for the month of March, right, so far we're 7 days into the month of March. My income is that much, $1,328, right? Which is pretty good. My expenses so far is $563.48. That's how much I was able to save so far, right? Like I said, it's not cash save, it's credit card save, right? Because I pay everything with a credit card. So my expenses is not really what I've spent so far. I still have this amount left to spend. But the big difference that I told you guys, right? Last month, I was able to spend $378.04. And then, as you can see, 7 days in, $4.67. So this is a major upgrade compared to how much I'm spending. My budget is around $10 per day. Sometimes I spend to around like $6 per day on average, but that is going to make a big difference at the end of the month. And if you guys want to actually see the progress and how everything turns out, then I mean, follow the channel. And yeah, let me put you guys up real quick. All right, so that $4.67 was actually from one day, since I worked very late. I worked from 7:30 all the way to 10:40 at night, and I ended up getting McDonald's, which It cost me $4.67. When you use the deals and stuff like that, you can get a pretty good deal and sometimes even free food. I pretty much stack up like the rewards, and then you can get like a free frappe or a McChicken for 1,500 points and stuff like that. But yeah, man, this just shows you that every month is not going to be perfect, and you just have to like, even though you messed up last month, you just have to correct it now. Like, it's not gonna be perfect. You just gotta try to do your best and just make up for the next month, right? Spend less than what your budget is, so that way you can make up the difference from the previous bad month. You know, that's something that I want you guys to do. Try to beat your previous month. If you guys haven't written down how much you spent in February, I want you guys to go ahead and do that. That's going to be your homework. And yeah, if you guys want to keep up with these videos, if you guys like it, like the video. That way it would help me out. And then also it would recommend my videos whenever I drop them to you guys as well. Subscribe. And if you guys want to see my net worth update for the month of March, at the start of the March, it's going to be somewhere like right here, right? And yeah, you guys can see that video, and I'll see you guys over there. I'm out.